Today we are going to be playing Green Zoro from OP12, a leader I'm so excited to bring you today. It's an aggro strategy for green like we've never had before. It just says ×3 Dawn, activate main once per turn. If this leader has battled your opponent's character during this turn, set this leader as active. Then this card cannot attack characters at an original cost of 7 or less. So the important thing here is first the beginning. If you battle any character, it's not 7 cost or lower, right? A lot of people keep saying, if you battle a 7 cost or lower, you can't restand. Yes, you can. You battle a 7 cost or lower, you can't fight it the second time. Now you can attack their leader. So what you do basically is you just swing in the board, remove their bodies very strong with an 8k attack using strong characters that give you Rested Dawn, and then remove their bodies. Then you just attack the 8k into their leader and you put on the aggression. So you're removing board and swinging aggressively into your opponent. You're getting a lot of cards out of their hand very early in the game. This deck is just so strong. We can utilize cards like Cavendish because we're a supernova type, Hody Jones because we're a green leader and we know how strong Hody Jones is, resting 2 characters or Dawn. We have one of the Smoker. I don't personally think the Smoker is the highest priority in this deck. I don't even think Cavendish is the highest priority in the deck once we get to the new options. I think this card's just okay. We're already removing a lot of cards from our opponent's hand with our leader effect, so Cavendish is cool and all, but it's just something to take eyes off your leader and have your opponent try to get some removal on this character instead. Running 4 of the Tashigi to help with removal based decks, and here we get into some OP12 specific cards. It says Koala, activate main, you may rest this card. Rest up to one of your opponent's original cost 4 or less, then attach 3 Rested Dawn cards to one of your Roar nor Zoro leaders. So you get to tap out for 4 on an even Dawn play, you get to rest down their 3 cost, and then basically just run it over with an 8k swing, and I love that. If you're going into a purple Luffy matchup, obviously you can swing to their Zoro or whatever else, blue purple, whatever, you can go into one of their bodies. Koala just has so much utility in the deck. You can use it early, you can use it late, you can use it any time of game and feel really confident in it. Resting down a 4 cost is really amazing, and getting the 3 Dawn back. A 1 cost play to rest a 4 cost is amazing, and a pseudo blocker after that. I love this card just so much. Now we have Koshiro, which is a blocker that says if one of your 5 cost or lower / attribute characters other than this card will be removed from your opponent's effect, you may instead rest this card. So it helps with removal based matchups just like Tashigi, but this is specifically KO'd, which you'll see at the end of the video. We did realize because we were playing around a card that would remove one of our cards and we needed a full removal safety, not just KO, because instead our character got trashed. So it was good, it worked out, but again, just remember that. Now we're running Kozuki Hiyori, which is a top 5 searcher for if your leader is Zoro, look at the top 5 cards, reveal 1 / attribute or green event, which you can see we're running a lot of green events here. So I really like these new searchers. They do the same thing for Perona, which says if your leader is a / attribute, look at the top 5 and grab a / attribute or green event. And I love that they're using the attributes for more cards and more abilities. Now, I'm super excited to continue on with this deck profile, but I love the new searchers altogether. We have Shimatsuki, which is just rest one of your opponent's 2 costs or lower, then KO one of their rested 1 cost or less. It doesn't really do anything. It's mainly just in there for a 2k counter that's / searchable. So we just run it for that specifically. Now, he is Land of Wano, so maybe you can run this in a Land of Wano build and do something with it, but I really doubt it. We're running the new Drakeul Mihawk SR, which is an 8/8 blocker that says rest up to, or set 4 of your Rested Dawn as active, then you may not play 7 cost or higher characters. But let me tell you, when you get to restand 4 Dawn, and then you get to restand 2 Dawn with Cavendish, you basically just have an unstoppable turn. The strength of this is you play out an 8/8, you swing 8 with Cavendish, you restand 2 Dawn, so you attach 2, and then you restand 2, so now you have, 4 again, and then you put 3 on your leader, and then you still have a Dawn up for an event or a searcher or whatever you want. It's just really so strong, and you get to swing 3 times total because you swing once with Cavendish, twice with Zoro. This deck is cracked. Now, my favorite card personally is actually this Tashigi. Rest up to one of your opponent's original cost of 6 or less, then give up to 3 Rested Dawn to your leader. It's like Koala on crack, and obviously we already know the similarities between Koala and Tashigi, other than the stairs. Obviously, having her sitting on the stairs is kind of ruthless here. I will say that is kind of messed up. Anyways, back to Tashigi. It just says rest up to one of your opponent's characters with an original cost of 6 or less, and that's just so strong. Original cost being very important with a lot of decks actually giving extra cost in the next format, including yellow Black Koala, which we covered the other day, just a few days ago actually, so I hope you enjoyed that video. I'm excited to play this Tashigi. This card is fire. Now we go into Zoro, which is a 2 of in the deck. I'm not sold on it. I think we could have other options. I don't think I even played it once in today's video. While this card is in your hand, it cannot be played by an effect. And then it says if your leader has a slash attribute, this card cannot be KO'd in battle by slash attribute cards and gains plus 1000 power. So I think I really play this just for the mirror match specifically, because obviously that really helps if you go against another Zoro, and Zoro will be highly played and very favored in a lot of matchups. So I think that's why we play this card. It really helps against our own matchup. But other than that, it is what it is, because obviously almost everything in here is slash, so it's basically something you just can't remove off the board except with a Tashigi or a Hody Jones. So I get why we play it. I think that's why. Other than that, it's just in here as an option to search out an extra counter or an extra body if we can't find the Kuina. Now we run 2 of the 0 cost event just because it gives plus 3000 rest of 4 cost for the trigger. Through 2 of the Electrical Luna, which helps into other aggro matchups like Zoro and other decks like that, green, purple, Luffy, etc. All of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 7 less do not become active. Amazing card. I really like Electrical Luna a lot in this deck. We also have 2 of the Demonic Aura 9 sword style Ashura Dead Man's Game, which I think we're all just going to call Dead Man's Game. It says main, rest 3 of your Dawn cards, rest up to 2 of your opponent's characters or Dawn cards, so it's a 4 Dawn investment to play Hody Jones with no character or no rush option, but it really does come up in a lot of matchups. It also has the counter, up to one of your leaders gains plus 3000 during this battle, and I think they're really powering up green. I think we can see it, especially once we get into this last event here. Luffy is the man who will become king of the pirates, set up to one of your Roronoa Zoro leaders as active. So the strength of this deck is also against blockers. It basically just says you cannot block this leader, because now if I swing 8 at your life and you block, I get to swing 8 at your life again. So it's just a free swing. I get through your blockers perfectly, basically. And the cool thing is I can swing 8 at your life. You're like, oh, I don't have to block, I'll counter out of hand. You're down to 1 card in hand. So now it's like, I don't get to restand my leader, we'll tap 3 Dawn, restand my leader, and then you're like, well, you swing 8 at me, I'll block her out because I have to, and then I'm like, well, leader effect, restand my leader, 8 again. And so this card is just way too strong. I love this card. I love this leader. This is going to be the main card or main leader we're going to be playing in OP12, and I'm going to make a video on OP11 and how I feel about it. But for me, I'm excited for OP12 more than anything. I'm going to be destroying Roronoa Zoro. We're going to be playing this so much on the channel, so I hope you're excited for that. I hope you're excited to continue with more OP12 deck lists very soon for all of the leaders. And let's get straight to some games on the sim. And don't forget, we're going to be live streaming every Friday from here on out, as many as we can, at least at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until whenever. If there is a change in schedule, it will be in the Discord. Link down below in every single video. Like, subscribe, join the One Piece family, and let's get straight into some games. We're going to start our first game here against Green Yellow Law. We're going to take first because that's the curve we like. We're going to keep this hand because I actually kind of like this hand. I would love to see Tashigi instead of Cavendish. I actually like Tashigi a lot more. We're going to play out the Perona, and there's our Tashigi. We don't really have a 3 Dawn play here other than just swing 8. Swing 8. We could rest one of your opponent's 2 cost, then KO one of your opponent's rested. It's possible. I think we're going to go with Tashigi though. Mihawk's good, Queen is alright, but Tashigi is just the best. Literally just on curve, basically just swinging really heavy into a character and then heavy into life. I'm loving it. I am loving it here. I might actually do this. Boom, and then just swing 5 into it. I could have gone 2 into it actually. I should have gone 2 into it just for the free KO, basically. That's okay. That's okay. We'll be alright. We get to take them off of their curve. Now we can Cavendish instead of Tashigi because they won't have their board set up to really do anything. Now they rest down our X-Drake. Yep, you can have that guy. They use X-Drake to rest down our Shimatsuki guy, and that's totally fine. I'm not going to lie to you. We're going to go 5, we're going to swing 3 into X-Drake, see if we can get a card out of their hand this time. We cannot, so we're going to go ahead and swing 5 into our opponent. We should get a card out of their life or their hand. We got the life, and then we're going to look up the top 5 and grab. This card is just so good against their deck, but so is Electrical Luna. But I think if we can use this and continue to control the board turn after turn, that's going to put us in a very good space. So I think we're going to take Tashigi again, because that is Yellow-Green Law's worst nightmare. I'm going to swing straight into your Cavendish, and you're not going to do anything about it. I want you to know you're not going to do anything about it. Now, they could have played out the blocker. Now they bounce back the beige, and they play out the blocker. That's totally fine. That's totally fine, because we're just going to swing into the Cavendish anyways. But it's okay if we just take this attack. Ooh. All right, so this would be able to rest the characters. We're going to save that for later. We're going to start with this, rest down the Cavendish, and then put the 3 Dawn on our leader. We're going to go ahead and swing 8 into Cavendish. We're going to restand 2 Dawn. So now we can actually look at the top 4 or play out the blocker. We just get that off the board. So we should have swung the leader, I guess, first, just because we could restand the leader. Now we cannot restand the leader. But if we had a way to, we don't have a way to. All right, fair enough. We're going to just search the top 5. We're going to grab a event that restands our leader here. We're going to swing 8 at our opponent. And then we're going to pass. We have a good enough counter. We're getting pretty aggressive here. Our opponent's already down to 1 life. We have the Tashigi for next turn, or we have the Demonic Aura 9/Ashura Demon Dead Man's Game. That's a mouthful and a half. So we could just rest down their Dawn or their characters for 4 Dawn. We could just go very heavy with this Roronor Zoro right here. We cannot swing this multiple times, which does suck, but it is what it is. When it gets to Dawn, they put a Bonnie, 5-cost Bonnie, Supernova. If you have 8 or more rested cards, draw 2 and trash 1 from your hand, then set one of your Dawn cards as active. Interesting enough. We'll just let that go for 6. Our opponent's going to be able to swing 6 into Cavendish here. We're going to go ahead and counter out. This is going to be a draw 2, trash 1, set 1 Dawn as active, so they'll be able to go 7 into Cavendish here. And we will have to 0-cost event out of that attack, which is totally okay. I am going to go for removing this board pretty much. That's kind of the goal every single turn. Every single turn. Draw 2, trash 1 though. Very good, especially for a law deck like this. We're going to go ahead and 0-cost out of it with the restand event. We'll be able to search that back up later, or just draw straight into it. We're going to go ahead and play down the other Tashigi here, resting their character, put the 3 Dawn on the leader. We're going to go ahead and swing 8 into this law. Now we're going to be able to swing... Oh, watch this. This is going to show you how crazy this deck is. 8 again. They let that go. We're going to be able to swing 8 again. We're going to wait till next turn. What I was going to do there is I was hoping they would counter out. It kind of depends. Well, we can just rip a bunch of cards in hand. We're not about to lose or anything. We're not about to lose the board either. We could go in again. It's not a horrible idea. Basically puts them very behind. But we don't have much counter in hand, so that would be kind of bad. We could just sit on a plus 3k to leader. Screw it. Let's go 8 again. I'm not scared of anything. I'm not scared of anything because we can just use this next turn and rest down 2 of their characters. So it puts them down to 5 cards in hand, 1 9k. They can clean up our board, but then we use the 1-cost event and rest 2 of their characters and just swing very heavy at our opponent. They can just have that. We're not going to sit there and counter out. Now they should maybe Bonnie. They're looking for Kid probably. Kid would be very good for our opponent here. Very good for our opponent here. They grab a Trafalgar Law instead so they can gain life. They're going to be able to go 7 into Cavendish. We could counter out, actually. We could counter out. Now, it all depends on what our opponent puts into their life and if they choose to play anything out and all that jazz. So, our opponent has options, that's for sure, but that's what Yellow-Green always has, is a ton of options. And, man, it's early. But I'm happy we got OP12 on the sim, as you heard. I'm excited to play this deck more often. We're going to go and double counter out 2 1Ks. Just to get out of this attack right here. So they bounce it back to play a Cavendish or reveal a Cavendish. No, they wanted 1 more K counter in hand. And GG's. 1, 2, 3K counter. Would they bounce back? How did that work? Oh, they bounced back the Bonnie to have plus 1K. They were going to be cooked. We were just going to go very big. We still had 4 total life with the Hody Jones in the bottom. We were about to draw the event. We already had the event in hand. We could have Hiyori'd. I don't even know what my plan was. I think I was just going to go 7. If they counter with 3 cards, then we just have guaranteed lethal after that. We just go 7 again. If they even got a trigger to rest our leader, we just put everything on Perona and we'd still have lethal guaranteed. So, hey, GG's. On to the next one. Zoro is cracked. Yellow Black Koala. This is going to be a fun matchup here. This would be a nice hand, but it won't be. Getting 2 Hody Jones was not going to be a good look for us. Now, we don't have our Tashigis. We don't have any of our big options here. We're just going to play out the Koshiro and pass. Now, our opponent took the first curve, which is very interesting. Maybe they're playing into the 5-drop that gets rid of cards in hand. This is not my build. This is not my build. This is a removal-focused build. I'm fine with it. We're just going to take this and search for some options here. Of course, we don't find any because why would we? They play out the Brook and they can't KO anything. Now, I wish we just had something to remove the Brook, but of course we don't because why would we? Why would we? And we still don't find anything to just rest down this Brook. That is wild. I have not seen something like that before, so I guess we just grab the Zoro because it helps with slash removal, but that doesn't really do anything for us. We're just going to play out, we're going to swing in for 7 at face, I guess. There's really nothing to do here. This is one of the most brickiest hands I've had with this deck specifically. We have the Tashigi for later on. They can easily remove the Kozuki Hiyori with the Brook, or they can just swing the Koala into the Hiyori and then lower this by 1 and then KO it very easily here. This is a wisdom type, so it's not a slash type, it's not saved, so we'll just let that go. Pretty simple, and then see what our opponent chooses to do for 5 total Dawn. They need to play something that adds extra cost to itself to get effects from cards like this Nico Robin. So we're still searching. We are going into 6th Dawn and we have nothing to really play out. So we are going to take this attack. We at least find a Cavendish, which is good, and they play down Karasu. So I would love to have found something a little better, but we'll take what we get. So we're going to play down Cavendish here, and then I think we're just going to swing 5 into the Koala. And then I think we're going to play down a Tashigi as well to give us some extra removal safety here, in case they want to go for the removal focused build, which it looks like they do. So I think we're going to just play out the Tashigi and pass. So this gives us options if they had double removal, because they already have at least 1 on the board. So if they had 2 ways to remove Cavendish, we just rest and rest. They will be able to rip a card from our hand with Karasu here, which is going to be pretty good. But it's nice that we get to choose what card. We're probably going to drop this Zoro. It doesn't really do too much. We're going on 8 Dawn, so we're going to go Mihawk instead. We'll be able to swing into Karasu twice. So they're going to swing 7 at us. We're going to drop that Zoro we talked about and just take a 7. We get to rest one of our opponent's 4 costs or lower. We're going to use the trigger and rest the Brook. That's very nice for us. We're playing like a yellow deck, and we're not even close to yellow. They play the Kuma, they gain a life. This build is kind of confusing me. They are playing the 10-drop Kuzan. It's good information to have here. We're going to go ahead and counter out with the 2K and then decide what we want to do. I think we're going to go with Dracoel Mihawk, restand 4 Dawn. Because now we can take a life, which we didn't think about. We can swing in for 6 at the Brook, restand 2 more Dawn, and then we can swing in for 8, restand the Zoro, which is totally fine that they did not let that go. We're just going to restand the Zoro. We're going to swing in another 8, and then we're going to play this blocker out for 2. So we have 2 blockers. We have options on the board. We should be safe to hide behind what we're hiding behind. I actually think playing against the Mihawk was incorrect there. I'm just kind of thrown off by a build itself. I'm trying to figure it out, but playing the Brook and the Kuzan, it's not really working here with this Bello Betty. Maybe because it's a 2K counter and it gives -2 on play. It's not horrible, but I'm not loving it. I am not loving it here. Now the Nico Robin, obviously, I think that card is fire. Really good. I like it a lot. So we're sitting on 3 blockers. We have a good amount of counter. We do have Demonic 9, Aura, Ashra, Dead Man's Game. We have Hody Jones, especially once we have no life and they maybe wall up a little bit. Now they get to discard, they finger gun our Tashigi, which is pretty good there. They just get to remove Tashigi altogether. And then if a 5 cost or lower / type attribute, so if this were to be KO'd, we should be safe. This says if you have 5 or less cards, so we need to get less than 5 cards in hand. Now we just have to trash a card. I think we're going to trash the... Oh, this is tough to say. I think we're going to have to trash this event right here. And I think we just block out for free. Might as well block out. It's a free block out. So I'm going to do it. 5 Dawn active. So they could go 8. We could block. And then they could go 8. And they could go 9, which we could block. If they go 6, we could just counter that pretty easily. They play Hawk. That's going to KO a character later on. So we're just going to 2K counter. And then they're going to swing in for 7. And we're just going to block. Boom, perfect. So now we're going to, I think we just Tashigi, rest this down, put the 3 Dawn on our leader. Now we can swing, and this would be very nice to be able to restand our character. We can swing 8 into the Karasu, restand 2 Dawn. 3 would make this 11. Do we care about removing the Hawk here? I don't think so. 11 into Kuma. They get to gain a life, but that's okay, because we're just going to take that life back. So it's like you get to draw 1 card, basically. Which doesn't mean too much for us. We're gonna leave 2 Dawn active and just pass. We have no resources in hand, and we took our own life with the Mihawk, which was not smart. Did not think that through, but we also had a horrible card pool altogether. Not finding this card on curve is it just feels bad. I'm not gonna lie. Just not finding this card just feels bad. Dude, this card is so freaking good. Resting down a 6 cost, original cost 6 or less. We can rest this down. That's wild, and it feels just so good. So we need to find a way to go for lethal on this next turn, which means we need to keep Cavendish. Are we likely to keep Cavendish? No. Are we likely to keep Hody Jones? No. They get to remove our Koshiro from using the 10-drop Kuzan. Pretty good for our opponent there. They're going to swing 5 at us. At this point, we could just take, and we're going to have to hide behind blockers and save ourselves anyways, more than likely. And we're going to have to go for lethal. So I think we just take, looks like the right choice to me. They shouldn't have a way to do anything to, I'm trying to figure out what the move is here. I think we're going to Hody Jones, swing in for 7 at our opponent, restanding 2 Dawn. So now we have 3 Dawn for our leader, and we're swinging 7 at our opponent. We're going to swing another 7 at our opponent. 2, 3. We're going to go 8 into Hawk, trying to just KO it. If not, we get to restand our leader. See, I just don't know if Hody Jones was the play. but we didn't have any life anyways. They don't have a 4 cost to remove, so we're just going to go 8 in the face now. We're still going to leave 1 Dawn active because we need to try not to lose next turn, because they can go, I don't know, I haven't mathed it out yet, but I don't know if they can literally just play something small and KO the Mihawk. 3, 6, 7, so we can get out of a 12, so they would have to go, if they split perfectly, they would go 12, 13, and we just lose. But I'm trying to show them that maybe that doesn't work by holding up the 1 extra Dawn and having the 1 Dawn up and being like, hey, they know we have the 0 cost event. That's the worst part. So if we have a 2k counter at this last card, because it'd be 3, 6, 7, 8, which would get us out of the 12, and then we block out of the 13. But if they don't go for lethal, they just lose. So they just have to do the math right. Legitimately, they just need to do the math right. This is what this game comes down to. They go for 10, which is incorrect unless they have removal for the Mihawk, which is the issue, because if we block out the Mihawk, and we just have to hope they don't. So we're going to go 1, and then we're going to go 3. So now if they have removal for the Mihawk, a 3 cost removal option, they do have guaranteed lethal because we only have 1 card in hand, as long as it costs 8 or less. Now, for them, they don't know. It could cost 10, and they could not finish us off, but if it costs 9 or less to remove this Mihawk, they just have game. So simple math mistake there in my personal opinion. That was a close game though. I think us playing out the Draco Mihawk really hurt us. It was nice to have the blocker, but I think we just didn't see the Tashigi on curve like we needed. I think Tashigi's better than Cavendish, honestly. Cavendish is cool and all, but Tashigi, just removing a body early, taking off our opponent's aggression is always going to be good here. Our opponent's going to swing in, it looks for 9. They're going to play Rebecca here, grabbing back Bello Betty as a 2k counter, and then possibly playing something rested. They play a Koala so they can search the top of the deck. And they are playing the dragon as well. They have a lot of options. It looks like they missed on their search. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we were gonna draw. Oh, we were gonna draw the 3 cost event. Well, they were trying to play the safe route. I respect it. GG's to our opponent. That was actually a close game, no matter what. So, hey, Koala, a lot better than you'd think. And we did a video on it the other day. So if you need to check that out, check it out in the description below. We're going to start and finish, we're going to finish against Shanks here. We're going to take first because that's the curve we like. We're going to see how strong our curve is compared to the curve that they like to see, because obviously it's Shanks. Now, our first turn play is kind of weak. We're not going to do anything. We're just going to pass. Then we're going to coast row and swing in. Well, we're going to swing in for 6 just to get the extra Dawn. We could go to Shigi, but then we can't swing in really, so it's not worth it. So we're just going to swing in for 6 at our opponent and then play out Coast Row, which is a blocker. And then if a slash type character would be KO'd, you may instead rest this card. Really good stuff right there. They're going to grab a Ben Beckman to trash a character on our board, but our goal is not to let that happen. So we're going to swing in for the 6. These are people with now starter decks as well, so they have options to use the starter decks. Pretty cool stuff. We're going straight Kosher Row. I actually think this card's really underrated. I didn't think it was as good as I think it is now, until now, if that puts things simply for you. Next turn, we're going to Tashigi, depending on what they play, just so we can go ahead and pop their Ben Beckman. We lose the Kosher Row, but then I think that's okay. Oh, they're going to go 5. Maybe we're not going to Cheeky. Maybe we will Cavendish then. They're going 5 and 6. We're going to take, because we're going to give them a 2k counter here anyways, so might as well. We're going to 2k counter out. We're going to 5. I think we're just going to tap out for Cavendish then and just say womp womp. We'll hit them with a 7, because we could go another Kosher Row, but I don't think we need to. We're just going to go 7 at face. I could have cleared the Uta, I guess, but we need 3 Dawn to do that. I don't think it's really worth it to clear an Uta. If they want to keep giving up their whole turns, not playing on curve to swing with Uta, I'm fine with that. I will tell you right now, I am A-okay with that, because they're not putting down big bodies that we have to worry about. They're not putting down a 6 cost option here. We do know they have Ben Beckman, but we will get value out of the Cavendish before Ben Beckman comes down. We just know they will be able to remove it. Obviously, we'll use the Kosher Row first. They need to find a way to remove Kosher Row. See what I'm saying? That was totally worth it, because now I just give them a 2k counter, and then we just take the 7. They're trying to maybe bait out the blocker, but we're going to take very aggressively here. And then we're going to be sitting on 7 Dawn total. So what we could do is actually put down this Smoker. I love that idea. Just having the banish for later. And then we can swing in for 7 at our opponent, restand 2. We're just going to go double 7s here, because we're going to restand a Dawn, and then we're going to double Kosher Row, so that's going to make it very hard to remove our Cavendish next turn on 8 without some kind of power removal. They could Rayleigh, but even that won't help. So what we're going to do is just set 2 Dawn as active now that we have the effect passed. We're going to swing in. Now we could have, again, put another Dawn here, swung 8 Uta, and then restood it, but like, why would I do that? Why would I care to do that? We're here to put on the aggression here. We're going to go double Kosher Row and pass. So we have Cavendish, Smoker, and 2 safety nets for our removal, for our opponent's removal here. We only have 3k counter, which is not so good, but this really helps against Rayleigh and Ben Beckman. Now, they can still lower our power, of course. -3, -2, pop one of the blockers. They're going to Otama the Smoker. This is a slash type character. There are 5 college characters other than this card would be KO'd by an opponent's effect. KO'd specifically. Okay. Well, if only we could read. If only we could read. Well, I think we're just gonna, no, they have to rest a 6 cost lower. It's not worth it. We're gonna play this out, search the top of the deck. We're gonna grab a event. We're gonna tap out for 8. We have nothing to swing into with leader, so I'm not too worried about swinging heavy. I think what we'll do instead is going 7 into our opponent, restanding 2. And then we're gonna go 7 more, and then we're gonna play down the Tashigi this next turn. That's going to help for more non-trash. For some reason I said this, I thought this said would be removed from the field. That would be Tashigi that says would be removed from the field. So we're not going to have any counter. We're going to go, whoops. I added too many Dawn too quickly. Well, it looks like we're going to be keeping our counter. We're just going to go a big 10 and put our opponent down to 2 life. That's the option we chose. Now, was it on purpose? No. Now, the only thing that can remove stuff is going to be Ben Beckman here. I think we did misplay there with the Smoker for sure, just not reading our cards properly. But of course, we're all still learning these decks, so take a chill pill, hang out, have some fun. We have options here. We have Luffy is the man who will become King of the Pirates, which makes his -1000 very strong. Taps out for 6 if your opponent has an 8000 power or more character. Give this card in your hand -3 cost. Pretty good stuff right there. Our opponent is going to swing for 6, 7, 7. We're just going to... I don't want to give them info that we don't have 2K, so we're just going to block for free. They don't have a way to go higher than this in their attacks. And they're going to go 7 into Cavendish, which we will counter for 2. Again, not letting them have the info that we don't have 1K counters, I guess. I don't really know. Doesn't matter too much. We're going to give up one of our blockers here. And then we have 3K. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or we could tap out for 5. Give our leader 3. We have options. I'm going to go 2 into 2 here. If they want to minus it by 1 or counter 1, I'm fine with it. Of course they don't, because that would not be smart. I think we just continue on at face. I think we ignore the board at this point. We can swing once with leader into board, and I think we hold this up for next turn. So we'll play this out, rest in Otama, give them 3 Dawn, because now we could go, I think we're going to go 9 into face here. They could minus it and then go from there. But this is already at 8, so they'd want to prioritize minusing leader because we get 2 swings with it, but they don't, which is good for us because now we're gonna go 3 more Dawn. It's gonna be 11 into Ben Beckman and then 11 into face. So now this would be 2K, 2K, 1K, and then we're just gonna restand him and then swing 11 into face. And it's like, now what? Now what? They have to take this, so they're going to go down to 1. We have our 3 cost event. We have a 0 cost. We should be pretty safe here. We're sitting on a blocker. We could have swung in for 8, don't get me wrong, but I think just having the blocker here is going to be really good. Now they play down another freaking 9 cost. They're going to become a 7K here. We may want to get rid of our blocker this turn, honestly, just so they can't keep doing this. The chain does not stop. They play out Uta, look at the top 3 cards, grab a lime juice for a 2K counter, giving our opponent more options for their next turn. Fun fact, 15, 15. Well, it'd be 14, 14, but we could do it. We could do it. Our opponent's going to swing 9 into Cavendish, more than likely, and we'll probably just let that go at this point. They're going to go 10 into Cavendish. We could block, but I think we just let it go at this point. I think we can take 1 hit to gain another card in hand, so we have more options for our 0 cost event later. And they could hit us for 10, and again, we're going to take it. We're going to take it. Not worried about it. 10, give it to me. We get a 2K counter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're just going to swing 7 at face, see what they decide to do. They minus it by 1. That was kind of what we wanted. So we're going to go 7 into Shanks here. So we're going to go 12 into Shanks. Just because it's a free swing, we might as well. It's just going to get cards out of their hand. Now what we're going to do is restand him. We're going to swing 12 into leader. They're going to probably take this and then maybe counter. All right, we're going to restand our leader and 12 more. See what happens now. We're still sitting on 5K counter in hand and 2 blockers. We should be pretty safe here to just continue on the aggression. 2 blockers is what's really going to be our safety net here. They go 2K, and that's all they had. So GG's to our opponent there. That was a close game at the end of the day. I think minusing down the leader earlier would have been better rather than going for the characters, but that's what you have to bait out of your opponent. Either way, it was an extra 1K, but minusing down the leader in this matchup helps a lot more. So GG's to our opponent. We're on to the next game. That was a fun one. Actually, that was our last game of the set. As always, we always do 3 games of every leader, but as I said, I'll be streaming live Friday from 6 p.m. until whenever of probably a lot of Green Zoro and OP12, some theory crafting, deck building. I know a lot of people are going to be working on it, but I want to do it for you guys live on Friday, and we'll be cutting that live stream into a video later on, so come come join in, hang out, have some fun. Let's talk some One Piece and just hang out. Have a good old time. Per usual. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Join the Discord, subscribe, all that good jazz.